Hi. Hola.
Hi, here's Mr. Dozy.
This is Michael Bradley.
Hey, I'm Memphis.
Hey.
Hola. Hello.
I'm here with soccer.com.
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 And I'm talking with my friends soccer.com.
See you soon.
Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Under Armour Speedform in the latest Mother's Day colorway. Now inside the box, all you get are the shoes themselves. They do not come with any extras. So let me get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at what I think is probably the most obnoxiously bright colorway of any shoe that I've ever seen. These are absolutely insane. I'm sure you guys will leave your opinions on them down below in the comment section. With that being said, in this video, we are of course going to take a detailed look at the colorway itself. We're going to talk tech specs, general performance, take a look at the weight of the shoe, as well as take a look at how these things fit and feel on feet. So if you're interested in learning more about the very underrated Under Armour Speedform, stick around and watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair for yourself, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $220 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now, as you guys can see, this features what I guess is a floral print. It reminds me of like an old wallpaper that's just way too bright. I'm not sure if these are roses. I assume they are. That's what they look like to me, but I am not a flower expert. So if I am wrong, please do correct me down below in the comment section. So you have what I'm going to say are roses in pink as well as orange. And then you have some bright green grass kind of peeking in between. So really, really interesting pattern. Obviously, this particular colorway is dedicated to Mother's Day, which is a very interesting, I guess, day to tribute an entire pack or an entire colorway for a specific shoe to. But they did, and this is what they look like. They are, like I said, very, very bright. If you're looking to stand out, I can't think of a better colorway to do that with than this particular shoe. If you want to be unique, this is probably what you want. For me personally, and I've worn pretty much every color of the rainbow as far as soccer footwear is concerned, I kind of am of the opinion that there's no more shame in soccer cleats. You can wear pink, you can wear bright blue, you can wear pretty much any color that you want. But for me personally, I don't think I would wear these. These are just too over the top. I don't dislike them, but I wouldn't actually want to wear them if that makes any sense. But leave your opinions on them down below in the comment section. I'm really, really curious to hear what you guys think. So again, you have that pattern across the entire upper, Under Armour branding in white in various parts of the shoe, as you guys can see. The little tape stripe on both sides is bright orange. Same thing goes for the laces, the heel counter, as well as the sole plate, which does have some sparkle to it, something you won't really notice in the online pictures. And then the studs, as you guys can see, are a bright neon pink as well. So bright colors all around. Really, really bright shoe if that's something that you like. But again, let me know what you think of these down below in the comment section. And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, Under Armour is a very underrated brand in general. The Speedform's a great shoe. Their Clutch Fit, which is their alternate lineup, is also a very good shoe. And what I like about what Under Armour does year after year, at least for the last couple of years, because that's when they've really started to produce some good stuff, is that their shoes, their technologies, they're very unique to Under Armour. They're not going out there and trying to copy what the bigger brands are doing. They're creating truly unique products that are genuinely good. So if you are one of those people that doesn't necessarily want to wear Nike, Adidas, or Puma, the three main brands, Under Armour, one of those brands that I can definitely recommend as being very underrated. Same thing goes for Mizuno, if you want me to name another one. So as far as what you're getting with the Under Armour Speedform, it's kind of along the lines of a Nike Mercurial Vapor in terms of it being a lighter weight, thin synthetic shoe, although these aren't quite as light, they aren't quite as thin, and it has kind of its own little quirks in terms of what the design is all about. The idea here is to create a very seamless feel on foot. Obviously the shoe has a unique shape, which you can pretty clearly see. It has more of an anatomical shaping to it as opposed to a perfectly rounded toe. But what's really unique about this shoe is the internal structure, which we'll get to in just a second. So the upper is a synthetic leather material. It does vary depending on the colorway. So what you'll notice with Under Armour and the Speedform is that there's 4 different upper variations. There's a leather version, which honestly doesn't feel too far off from these. There's the standard synthetic model, which features a solid color and kind of like a hexagon pattern. Almost looks like it's a mesh base. And then you have the colorways that have all the patterns on them, like this one. There's a camo one, there's a navy blue and pink one you guys have seen featured on the channel as well. And those are kind of a softer synthetic material. This is actually my personal favorite of the different variations of Speedform. So if you are looking to get one, I would recommend getting one of the ones with the patterns printed on the upper. It's just the softest version of their upper, which feels actually really, really good. So the only seams that you're gonna find on the shoe are obviously covered up by these tape stripes, which in all honesty, you don't actually feel. You can see a little bit of stitching kind of peeking through. It does have somewhat of a translucent effect to it. But the material itself is, as you guys can see by the side profile, relatively thin. It's very soft. It's kind of just like a microfiber material. I guess if I had to compare it to anything as far as thickness is concerned, it would be something like the Nike Magista Opus to a certain extent, but obviously without the perforation. So these may feel a little bit thicker in comparison to those, but nonetheless, it's a very nice shoe. It provides a thin feel on the ball, but with a very slight amount of padding, just given that it does have somewhat of a kind of spongy quality to the actual material itself. The finish on the surface is more of a matte finish. It has a very, very light texturing, but for the most part, the amount of grip you get on the ball is nothing too crazy. Laces run through the middle. As you guys can see, the tongue is also made from the same synthetic material as the rest of the upper. And then when you get to the inside, that's where you have basically their Speedform technology. So what you're gonna find is that the entire lining, including the heel liner, as well as what would normally be an insole, is seamless. So it's all one piece. It's really, really cool how they did it. So the heel liner basically flows from the heel onto the bottom of the shoe. There's no overlapping materials, and this has a couple of benefits. The first is that there's nothing to actually move around or slide around on the inside of the shoe. So what this creates as kind of a unique feel in comparison to pretty much any other shoe is that there's a very connected sensation between your foot and the base of the shoe. You feel like you're really sitting directly on top of that sole plate, which gives this nice sensation of stability, I guess is the best way to describe it. I don't want to say it feels like an extension of your foot, but you feel more closely connected to the shoe, if that makes any sense. There's also basically nothing to wear out. What they've done here is that it has a mesh lining at the base, and you can see it kind of puffs out at the heel and it puffs out a little bit more towards the midfoot here. All of this part is actually like a very soft, relatively thick layer of memory foam. So when you step inside the shoe, you'll feel that immediate compression, and it's very, very comfortable. This mesh material is very durable for those that are wondering, and never had any issues with it wearing out or anything like that. And then along the sides, as you guys can see where it's orange, it's just a thin microfiber liner that really, really soft, almost has this synthetic suede feel to it. And again, there's nothing to really rub on or anything like that, which is quite nice. You also have this very thin rubberized tape strip going all the way around the edge of the shoe right here, basically from the last lace hole back. That does a good job of kind of gripping your sock a little bit as well as your heel and just keeping it locked in place as efficiently as it possibly can be. Another little detail I didn't show is that under the tongue on this particular colorway, it is printed successful there in pink, which is, I guess, kind of a cool little detail. But that's pretty much it as far as the upper and the inside of the shoe is concerned. So there is no insole to remove because the entire internal structure is one piece and seamless. The outsole is made from a relatively thick layer of Pebax plastic, so it's stiff through the midfoot but relatively flexible through the forefoot. It will feel a little bit firm at first, but you get used to that pretty quickly, and it's something that does break in as well. And then of course you have their stud pattern, which is kind of these bladed studs with more rounded corners to them. So it provides really good aggressive traction on firm natural grass. No issues with stability or anything like that. It digs in and bites as you would expect it to. And really, as far as overall performance is concerned, I didn't really have any problems with them. It's one of those stud patterns that gets the job done. Not exceptional, but there really aren't any current firm ground stud patterns that I would say are truly exceptional at the moment. And it's one of those stud patterns you really shouldn't have any issues with. They also do include an external heel counter, as you guys can see. which is made from a harder plastic, which is something I always like to see on shoes, just kind of a personal preference thing. So that's pretty much it as far as performance and tech specs go. It's a very, very capable shoe should you give them a chance. Again, it really just depends on what you're looking for. As far as weight is concerned, the Speedform is a relatively lightweight shoe, but in order to show you guys that, I'm going to actually weigh them for you today in real time on this scale. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. We're going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.7 ounces, the equivalent of 218 grams. So like I said, relatively lightweight, under the 8 ounce mark. For comparison's sake, these are pretty much the exact same weight as a pair of Nike Hypervenom Phantom 2s, which is also a very lightweight shoe. So again, if you're looking for something that is nice and light, these will provide that for you. Are there lighter shoes out there? Absolutely, but nothing that feels quite like the Under Armour Speedform. All right, so here is a look at the Speedforms on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock orange laces that come with the shoes. And on my right foot, I have a pair of pink reflective SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. You'll find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, they're actually pretty comfortable from right out of the box. The first thing you're gonna notice with this shoe when you put them on and tie the laces is the way they feel once you stand up. The bottom of your foot, like I mentioned earlier in the video, just feels very connected to the sole plate. Normally when you stand up in a pair of soccer shoes, you feel the cushion from the insole. With this, it's a little bit different. It's definitely a firmer feel. These definitely don't have that really plush sensation underfoot. So if you like that, maybe these aren't for you. But you feel not necessarily the hardness from the sole plate, but you feel like you're right on top of it. You feel like you sit a little bit lower in the shoe than you normally would. And again, that gives you a very connected sensation that plays into the overall responsiveness of this shoe. You feel, like I said, like the shoe fits extremely well. You're really, again, I guess connected is my word for this particular model. It's the best way to describe it. As far as the overall fit and feel of the shoe is concerned, it takes some getting used to just in terms of them feeling a little bit different. The fit in the heel is really good. I never had any issues with heel slippage or blistering or anything like that. Of course, it does have that anatomically shaped toe, so it's not perfectly round. It kind of comes to a bit of a point at the big toe and then curves around more like the natural shape of a foot. That bothers some people, doesn't really bother me. Again, everyone has their own preferences when it comes to that kind of thing, although it's not to the same extreme as what Puma does on, say, the Evo Speed line, for example. So that's not something I think will bother too many people. And the overall feel of the upper, while it's a little bit firm at first, it does soften up significantly after a few hours of wear time, and for the most part, the shoe does feel relatively flexible. As far as width is concerned, they have some decent width to them. It is a tighter fitting shoe through the midfoot, I suppose, but definitely not as narrow as what you're gonna find from a Mercurial model, for example. So for the most part, these will be suitable for most people. I guess if you have really wide feet, maybe beware of these, but for the most part, they should fit you just fine. And as far as sizing is concerned, they run about a half size small. So instead of wearing my usual size 9 US, I bumped it up to a 9.5, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would personally recommend going a half size up in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the Mother's Day Under Armour Speedform. If you guys are interested in more info on this shoe, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find the high quality images of this exact pair that I took myself. That'll give you a better idea as to how these actually do look in person. And of course, you'll also find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $220 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair for yourself, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding the Speedform, leave them down below in the comments, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.